Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. This is another layout this month for Around the World in 30 Days where we are scrapbooking vacations and staycations. So I'm getting down on my kit this month. This is the second to last page. You'll see I have one 12 by 12 left and I've set that aside for the last layout. So for this one, I'm pulling in this blank 12 by 12 to layer all these scraps on. Really trying to use scraps, but I'm not super worried about trying to pile them all on here. I'm trying to stick to this kind of cleaner, lighter pink and white color scheme. The final 12 by 12 is that color blocked diagonal stripe that I know is multicolor, and any scraps I have left over from this kit will go on that one. So for this one, I'm trying to pull out kind of the more dainty. I haven't really used the florals too much in this month, so I really want to use this floral side of this pink paper. And now I'm just piecing together the bits I have. I kind of just selected from that color scheme from the scraps I had, and now I'm trying to figure out how to piece them together on this 12 by 12. So I have the large piece of that grid. I'm really wanting this nice floral to be the largest block of pattern paper that you see. It's not quite long enough to cover that gap from the grid, so I will have this black and white polka dot kind of being a horizontal layer behind the photo to cover the rest of this gap. But that works out pretty well. I do want to use little pops of black and white because I actually haven't used black, I don't think at all this month, but there's a couple elements from this collection that have black in them, so I want them to all make sense. So the potted plant die cut I really want to get on here. It has black polka dots on the pot. There's a black label, and then this pattern paper that's black and white I thought would be really nice. So trying to tie those all in. I really want to focus more on the pink and white elements, but I do want all of this to coordinate. So I'm just using these scraps here to fill in that little gap from these other scraps. I went ahead and matted my photo in the orange side just because I wanted some contrast between all the pink that's going on. And that orange is kind of the orange that's in that floral and that grid. So now that I have all of this, I'm going through the rest of my scraps. This branding strip was also in my color scheme, so I decided to run that vertically down the page for some interest. And then I just need to layer a little bit. I am cognizant of the fact that the die cut I want to use, which is this little potted plant, has a yellow pot, and there's not really any yellow on the page, so I'm going to try to find little areas where I can pop in some yellow. So you see that yellow gingham branding strip scrap to the left there. I'm going to end up pulling into. But for right now, I'm still focused on the color scheme at hand, and I have a scrap of that same orangey paper from that info card, that little scrap of the scallop. So I'm adding that as another horizontal bit, gluing my photo down. I know that's where it's going to go. This page came together really quick. I really love the end of the kits where I'm kind of down on my scraps because I feel like I just use them how they are, and that's a lot of fun. I don't have to think too hard. I'm pulling in another white tag from Ronnie and some of this twine that my mom got me for my birthday. She gave me a whole little bag of like scrapbooking goodies, and there's a lot of colored twines there that I don't have, so I'm pulling in the green on this page. I've used the yellow and white twine on some of the other pages this month, but this is actually one of the few pages that has some green in it. So that's another reason I wanted to get the potted plant used up, but that's another reason I decided to pull in the twine with the green instead of the yellow. But just layering up my little clusters here. This is where I'm going in with that yellow gingham scrap to tie into that potted plant. I don't want to add too much yellow. I just want it to make the potted plant cohesive, and I just didn't want that to be the only yellow thing on the page. So I did pop that potted plant up on some foam. I like how that's going to be layered over the label and the tag. I think that gives some fun little layering. I definitely need a title, and I definitely want to do a lot of journaling on this page. So this is the companion page to the Mana Runes, which I think was the last layout that you guys saw. This is the one where I'm really wanting to do the journaling about this day. This is kind of the layout from our first day of the honeymoon where I'm going to list all the stuff we got to do. I thought this would be a good opportunity since I have the white background to really do a lot of journaling in some of the blank spaces. So that's the plan. I kind of thought about using those other die cuts, but I'm hoping I can get those on that final page. I'm going to go ahead and stop and figure out my title. I really wanted like a white title next to that top cluster, but I didn't really have, I wanted like a fun font, and I found these Word ones, and I didn't really have a particular title I needed because the companion page has the title of where this is. So I did find these Amy Tangerine white foam ones, and there's one that just says fun, and I thought that would be a really great one just to tuck in there. And then there was also a little like flower that is the same white foam that I'm going to add to this other cluster, just so that white foam texture is in more than one spot too. And pretty much the only finishing touch I have that's in this kit are these like little chipboard hearts, and you can see I have 2 sheets there. That one I'm using is actually from the Aspen collection. I've really enjoyed pulling in those colors with this kit, even though I also have some hearts from this kit as well. I've really liked mixing and matching both of those. But there are some green and yellow ones that I thought would be really nice since I'm pulling in those colors on this page. So I'm just adding some of those chipboard hearts to a couple of the 2 clusters I have. I guess there's not a whole lot embellishment going on, but I am creating a little visual triangle with little clusters of hearts. And then I did just pick out what pen I want to use. So I'm really trying to match the kind of orange that's matting the photo. I thought that would give some nice contrast. There's a lot of pink with the large pattern papers, so I think this is a nice pen to use to accent the little pops of the orange that is in those patterns. So I'm just doodling my lines here. This is where I'm going to do my journaling. And all I end up saying is we had a busy first day with horseback riding, seeing the gardens, ruins, relaxing near the bamboo forest in some hammocks, bike riding, hiking, canoeing. We were happy to relax at the end of the day with a fire pit and then a movie. We were exhausted after day 1 because Marcus really likes times like on the next page you'll see we're like just hanging out in the hammocks and just relaxing, but he likes on vacation just to like hang out and relax and decompress. And I'm very much like, I'm in a new place, I have FOMO, I want to take like advantage of being in this new place where I might not get to come back, and I want to do all the things. So my vacations are very much busy, and like we're doing all the fun things in this little time gap that we have, and he's very much like, I just want to like relax on the beach. So we tried to find a happy medium where we do some fun things, and then we'd hang out at a fire pit, and then we'd do some fun things, and we'd hang out in the hammocks, and trying to figure out kind of what we wanted to do each day so that we were both got what we wanted out of it. So day 1 was a lot of the bigger activities and we got those out of the way. Like we did those more in the morning, and then relaxed in the hammocks and the fire pits and stuff throughout the afternoon. But we were definitely wiped out at the end of day 1, and we ended up just ordering room service and then going out to one of the fire pits and doing like s'mores and stuff. Barnsley Gardens have these little like s'mores stations where you can kind of take everything you need out to a fire pit and they'll light it for you and stuff. So it was really nice. But I just wanted to concisely list everything we did on day 1. And then I realized the plain white was still too blank for me. I typically do have issues when I'm using plain white, so I decided to dress it up and make it a little bit more interesting by just doing hand-drawn faux stitching around all the paper layers. So that's pretty much it though. Pretty clean and simple. I'm really low on embellishments, so there's not a lot of like heavy layered embellishment. But with Felicity Jane, I've mentioned this all the time, I kind of like my pages to be more clean, so this is just one of them that kind of result in that different kind of style. But I like how this one turned out. Here are the close-ups, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.